Well, good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are. I'm Howard Harper, SEPM Executive Director. I will be starting this first virtual Bouma conference essentially right now. You won't see my smiling face because I do live in the country and I don't want to stress my internet. But I'll begin with opening a little bit about Arnold and his work. Now, a little bit about Arnold. He lived a fairly good life from 32 until passing in 2011. I did a little quick search, Google numbers. His name had had over 250,000 hits. His works on Google Scholar over 11,000, and the Bouma sequence, which I'm sure we're all familiar with that name, had over 800,000 hits, which kind of astounded me. But who was Arnold? He was born in the Netherlands back in 1932. Did his academic work at Utrecht, got a PhD in 61, and that was the main work he did on the Turbidites. Actually the title was about Flysch deposits and a graphic approach, meaning that's how he put the sequence together. He didn't name it the Bouma sequence, that was named after him later. And it's also been called one of the geologic milestones of the 21st century. In his career, he held many different positions, both in universities, in the government facilities, and in industry. So he had a very wide-ranging career, saw the aspects of his work being used by multiple entities. He also had quite a few honors and awards during his career. I'm especially happy that he won the Francis Shepard Medal for Marine Geology from SEPM in 1982. He also received from our Gulf Coast section, SEPM, the Doris Curtis Medal for Scientific Excellence in 2010. I also found out for the first time that his environmental work included having a marine geology feature named after him. The Bouma Bank, located here off the U.S. Texas coast, it is designated as a habitat area of particular concern, meaning they don't want it to be disturbed. And here's a photo that goes along with that. Arnold was not just a geoscientist, however. He had a family, and he married Lenneke back in the Netherlands early on. Then they immigrated to the U.S., created 3 strong boys. And when he passed in 2011, well, I guess before he passed in 2011, I knew him as myself being an LSU alumnus. I met him several times at LSU functions where he talked about the geology department. When I did my stint as an ARCO researcher, I was in a deep water depositional course, 2-week course. He was a lecturer and the field trip leader in the Karoo. So we spent 2 weeks together in that course and in the Karoo. And then when I first became the SEPM executive director, Arnold was my first SEPM president. So I interacted with Arnold quite a bit over the latter part of his career. I had to throw this picture in from the Karoo. Obviously a good place to study turbidites. These happen to be fine-grained turbidites, Permian in age. And there's a picture of Arnold. We were all taking rest because it was hot and dry, and we had to rest often in our hiking. So after he passed, and at the family's request, I met with Lenneke and his son Mark to discuss his legacy. They were very keen on making sure that his body of work would continue being recognized. And this led to the Arnold and Lenneke Bouma Endowed Fund. And that's one of the funds in the SEPM Foundation. And the purpose of this fund is to support Bouma conferences, and specifically to help financially support the participation of students and early career geoscientists. A couple of things, if I wanted to sum it up in 2 bullet points, and you could probably have a lot more bullet points here. He applied his research not just to oil and gas, which is where you've seen a lot of it, but also to environmental research like coastal protection and dredging. And there was a quote I found by him, and to paraphrase it, there's still a lot of work to be done, and it will be helped by computers, but that won't tell us what it means. What it really means will have to be determined by what the rocks actually show us. That's the record. And we want to keep the legacy going. So this is the first virtual Bouma conference. We have this as kind of a sampler of what we were hoping to have as the in-person Bouma conferences, which the pandemic has interfered with. So we are now planning to have it in the spring of 2023 in Utrecht, and it will be supported by the Arnold Bouma Fund. That's kind of a short overview of Arnold's life and career.